What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'll be showing you guys how to make this placket design. You can see what I have right here on my hand. So I'll be taking you guys through the process of doing this step by step. You see how beautiful this is looking. So if you like the video, make sure you give the video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel. You see how beautiful the placket is looking. The illusion of this design is actually that there is no stitch on the fabric itself. You can see here there's no stitch on the fabric themselves. The stitches are inside. So this video is mainly on sewing, so we have to work a lot on the sewing machine. If you like the video and you are interested in this particular design, do make sure you give the video a thumbs up. As always, I drop mad and dope design tutorial for you guys so that you can practice it. If you try this out after you watch the video, you can post your results on our Telegram channel or in our WhatsApp group. A link will be below also. Let's get straight into the tutorial step by step. So in order to do this design, this is my placket. As you can see right here, I already did all of the folding. You can see here I do all of the folding. Just in case you don't know how to do this, I have a video on how to do a placket and how to fix a placket on a senator. So I advise you to go ahead and watch that first, right? So here is my placket. Here is the inner placket, the one that is going to be inside, right? And here is the neck taping, because I've not joined the outfit at all. I'm going to join it, so I will take you guys through the process of doing this. And here is the fabric we're going to be using for the design itself. So first, once you get this, all you have to do is just to simply put it like this together, and we're going to run a stitch because we have to do a turn up, right? We're going to run a stitch and we have to do a turn up on this one. So if you look at this, the wideness I have here is supposed to be 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches. So after we fold it together and we stitch half of an inch here, after we do the turn up, we're going to have a total of 1 inch wideness. That's what we want, 1 inch wideness. 1 inch wideness, and that 1 inch wideness is what we're going to be using as the zigzag on the placket itself, right? So all you have to do is just go ahead and run the stitch first. Once you're done with the running of the stitch, we'll do a turn up. So this is what you're going to be having. You can see I already run a stitch all around the edge. So all you have to do now is to basically turn it inside, turn this outside, so there won't be stitches showing up in the front. So basically just put something inside like this and simply run a turn up. See that? See that? That's what I have. Then once you're done with the turn up, take it to the ironing table and make sure you iron it and it is very, very, very balanced. In order to make it very straight, I will advise you to put an hemming gum inside. An hemming gum, so that after you iron it, it's going to be as flat as possible. So once that is done, we are going to simply join this. So let me go ahead and do this ironing, make sure it's very flat. Then we can continue. You can see here what my ironing will look like. You can see how flat it is. Once we want to do our design, it can easily go around. You can see here. You can see. You can see that. This is exactly what we are trying to get, right? But first, in order to make sure this place is as flat as possible, so there's no bulkiness, right? I'm going to simply put an hemming gum in between here, just like this, just from here, and just fold it together to have a stronger edge, just like this. Just going to place it like this. You can see that. And while you're moving it, make sure it is flattened on the fabric itself. Isn't that? So put an hemming gum inside, make sure it is flat. You can see what I'm doing? The reason for that is to make sure the fabric itself is flat. You can see what I'm doing? So put it all the way to the end. Take your time, it might take time, put it all the way to the end, then iron it back, so that you're going to have all these edges looking as same as possible. You can see, you have to be as sharp as possible. So after ironing, you can see what I have. You can see how flat that is. You see, it has to be as flat as possible. So the illusion of this design is basically that this is actually, there won't be stitch on this fabric itself, right? There won't be stitch on this fabric itself. So all the stitches are going to be inside, all the way inside, all round the fabric itself, right? So that's the illusion of this design. You can see what I'm having here. So this is what we're going to do, right? This is exactly what we're trying to do. So first, let me go ahead and do all the stitches. Before we add the plackets, this is my back panel. This is my back panel and this is my front panel. I'm going to join these two together. First, I'm going to join the neck together, then we can add our placket. So let me go ahead and do that first. So here I already joined my neck. This is what my neck is going to look like. So first, I'm going to join my inner plackets. I'm going to join the smaller plackets, then we're going to join the bigger placket, and that's where this one is going to be. So let's go to the sewing machine. This is the most important part because we have to do this step one after the other all the way like this while we're stitching it. So let's go to the sewing machine and do this one together. If you're enjoying the video so far, make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are yet to do that. So let's go to the sewing machine. So the first thing I'm going to do is to stitch the inner placket, which is the smaller one. You can see that I'm going to stitch that first. So I'm going to turn this inside. There are several ways in which you can do an inner placket. This is the way that I used to do it, and it's quite easy and anybody can like sew along. You can see that. So from the inside, I'm going to stitch from the inside, which is the wrong part of the fabric, all the way to the front. So just like this from here, I'm just going to place this like this. I'm going to open the free part. You can see I already did several videos on how to do plackets, so I will advise you, if you don't understand this, go ahead and watch it. It's going to be a little bit longer than the neck itself. You see that? So I'm just going to run a stitch from here. You can see it's going to run a stitch from here. So what I have, just a straight stitch, just like this. You see that? I'm going to lock that edge. So once that is done, I'm going to make a notch at the end part, which is the end of that stitch. I'm going to make a notch at that place, just at that place, just a tiny notch. You can see that. And once that is done, I'm going to turn it to the front. Easy, turn it to the front like this. You see what I have? I'm going to overlap this SS one that I did before. You can see like this, and simply turn this over here. You see what I add? So I'm going to impute all of the fabric and simply lock that edge. So what I'm having here is basically very simple. So in order to lock it, I'm going to start from here. You can see just from here. So push the SS inside, make sure it is inside. It won't be showing on the stitch. Push it inside the fabric. You can see that. Push it inside and simply run a straight stitch. You can see what I'm doing. It's actually very simple, right? But I want to take you guys through this part before we get into the main design itself. So if you're enjoying the tutorial so far, make sure you smash the like button. That is very important, and make sure you subscribe if you are yet to subscribe to this channel. This is the best channel on male clothing. The best channel on male clothing. You can see just from here, I'm just going to stitch it all the way down. So at this end part, I'm just going to fold it, just run a straight stitch. So this end part, I'm just going to fold it inside, just like this. I'm going to lock that edge. So what I have, easy peasy. To those that are just seeing this machine for the first time, I've been using this machine since 2018. So if you've been on this channel for like since then, you'll know that this is not a new sewing machine. This has been for long. So this is what I'm going to be having after joining. Take it to the ironing table and iron it. Then let's go to the ironing table and do the placket itself. So in order to fix the placket, right, it's very, very simple. I'm just going to split this open. I'm going to open this side part, you can see. And here I'm going to measure this place from the neck to our notch. You can see I have 7 inches at that place, right? So from the neck area here on the placket, I will have to cut it from that 7 inches. I have to create that opening at that 7 inches. So from here, so because it has to like enter inside of that notch area, it has to enter inside of the neck. You can see that. See that? So I'm just going to simply impute this just like this. That's what I'm doing here. And once you're done with here, you have to just iron this exactly how you want it to be. You're going to put your hemming gum underneath, under here. So this is not going to be moving at all. You can see that. We are going to put our hemming gum all the way straight down also. Put the placket exactly where you want the placket to be. Use your hemming gum to hold it down. Exactly where you want it to be. So when we take it to the, but make sure at that up part, which I'm opening right now, make sure there's an opening at that place so that we can insert the design itself, so that we can insert that design itself. That's why I'm taking you guys through this part step by step, because you have to understand this particular part. It's very important. So here, just leave this part up. And exactly here, I'm going to put the hemming gum. You can see exactly at this place, I'm going to put an hemming gum. You can see that. I'm going to put the hemming gum. So insert the hemming gum here, because I want that up part to still be open, so that I can open that up part. I can still lift it up. You can see just like this, just like this. You see what I have? So once you balance up that part, see, make sure that place is balanced. Simply iron it down. Make sure it is ironed down. It's as simple as that. You can see, just iron it down. Make sure the hemming gum melts inside. So it's going to hold the fabric down on the fabric. You can see it's going to hold the placket and the fabric together. You see what I have? Iron it down. See that? It's quite easy. The reason why I had to do it like this is because of the design we are doing. If assuming it's a plain placket, I'm just going to like put an hemming gum all the way to the down part, right? I'm just going to put an hemming gum all the way down. So once we get this, the next thing is to simply, if we were going to do the stitch, is to simply place this inside, you see, just like this. And once we do the first stitch, I'm going to put the hemming gum all the way down. Because I want this to hold this, that's why I'm doing this first. I'm going to put the hemming gum all the way down on the placket. So once I do this, you can see here, from here, once I do the first stitch, which is going to come from here, you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to place this inside. Make sure it is, lift it up, and you make a slant, a little bit of slant. If you look at that place very well, you are going to see that it is not straight. I'm not going to place the fabric straight because I want the fabric to slant down. If I'm folding it backward, you can see that it has to slant down. You see that? So make sure you push the fabric inside very well. So what I'm doing, here, just take your time. So I'm going to lock that edge, you see, you can see. So once I lock that edge, let me show you guys at this place. Now you have to take this backward just like this. You see what I'm doing? I'm going to slant this down, you see that? So now you have to do this step by step. I'm going to turn this inside. Pay good attention at this place. This is very, very important. I'm going to turn this inside just like the way you're looking here. See what I'm doing? Make sure it is balanced and it's at the edge, you see? You see that? That's very, very important. Once you get that, make sure you align this place, and I'm going to make it straight, just like this. And I'm going to run a straight stitch. See that? I'm going to run a straight stitch at that place, all the way on the placket, and stitching it to the fabric all the way down. See that? See that? So I'm going to turn this. You can see that the other side is not stitched. We have to stitch that after. But first, you're going to do this one after the other, step by step. I'm going to turn this again like this. Make sure this is balanced. Balance your plackets. You can see. You can see this whole thing. So I'm going to turn this sideways like this again. You can see, and I'm going to still align this just like this. Place this backward. You see what I'm doing? It's going to be straight, then you turn it inside. You see that? See that? Make sure that part is balanced as well. See? Make sure that edge is straight to the fabric, to the placket. The edge and the placket is straight together. You can see that. Make sure it's balanced. Straighten the placket as well. You can see that. Then run your stitch on the placket. Easy, easy, easy all the way down. You can see. You can see that. So you're just going to do this over and over and over and over until the edge. So I'm going to fast forward this, so I'm not going to waste much of your time. I'm just going to do it over and over all the way to the edge. Then doing the coming back, that's the most important part, right? Coming back is the most important part. So I will take you guys through that process as well. So I'm just going to speed up all this place. You can see just exactly like this. Just stitch it, make sure that part is balanced. You see what I'm doing here? I don't want to waste much of your time, so you can just follow along. You see, run a stitch here, so turn it like this, get it back, run a stitch. If you're enjoying the tutorial so far, make sure you smash that like button. That's very important. That's very, very important. So once you get to this stage now, this is important. So I'm just going to stop. You can see here, I'm going to trim out that excess. This is the part in which we have to close the fabric that is coming from the top. We have to close that edge. So now in order to do that, I'm going to stitch that place, the point at the edge of the placket. You can see. You can see that point. I'm going to lock that place up. And this place, all you have to do is just to simply insert this. You have to insert the fabric under the placket, right? You're going to insert the fabric under the placket. It's easy. Just put it under the placket just like this and use something to like press it down very, very well. You can see that. Put it under the fabric. Make sure it is inside. You can see. I'm going to run a straight stitch at that place. So once I get to that edge, make sure you insert all of the fabric. Make sure there's no excess. That place, just like this. You're going to also insert that part. Make sure that part is inside very, very well. I'm going to run a stitch on it. Then now, this is the most important part. This is the most important part. You guys can see here. So now at this place, now you have to take your time. It is very important that you take your time at this place. You're going to stitch this part up, just like here. And you're going to fold in your placket into two, so you can go under. You can go under the fabric, because the illusion, as I said, is not to stitch on top of the zigzag itself. You're going to fold the placket together and stitch under it. You can see what I'm doing here. Stitch under it with the placket. Then lock that place. You're going to remove your fabric because the stitch is not going to be showing. you're going to remove your thread. Sorry, you're going to remove your thread. You're going to move forward. You see that place? You can see that place clearly. You're going to move forward. Let me cut that part. Let me cut the thread. You cut your thread. Move forward to the front. Make sure you lock all of the under to the last edge, right? So you're going to continue from that edge in which you stop. You can see that. Then you're going to fold your placket into two as well. You can see that place, fold it into two. You can see what I'm doing. Lock that edge. So fold the placket inside. Take the fabric up. It might be a little bit tricky, but it's not that difficult. You can see that. Then fold the placket together like this, and simply run the stitch all the way to the edge. You can see that. Easy peasy. If you're enjoying the tutorial so far, smash that like button. That's very important. And if you have any question, drop your comment below. During the ironing part, we're going to balance up everything. It's not that difficult. Even just go ahead and iron it anyhow. It's going to still come out very, very well. So you're just going to repeat this all the way to the last edge. Let me just fast forward this not to take much of your time. You can see you're just going to like repeat all of the same thing all the way like this. Fold your placket together, do the stitch under, do the same thing here. You can see. See, at this place now, that's where the opening of the neck is going to be. I'm going to do a lock at that place, just like this. I'm going to lock that place. So once I lock that place, easy, you can see that. I'm going to split this over. So I'm going to put the inner placket inside, right? I'm going to put it inside, just like this. You can see the inner placket, push it inside. Then we are going to only stitch the placket itself. So from where our stitch started, that place in which we lock, right, we're going to start our stitch again. You can see that. From that edge, we're going to start our stitch again. I will zoom in closer at this place so you can see that part clearly. I'm going to start my stitch again all the way like this. See that? I'm going to continue exactly the same thing. Fold your placket into two and stitch underneath the fabric. See that? It's not that difficult. Fold the placket together just like this and stitch underneath. You can see that. Simply stitch underneath inside of the fabric. You see that? Stitch together with the placket itself. See? See that? Then you're going to come to the next stage. So you're going to do it all the way to the edge, exactly the same thing, all the way to the edge, round the placket. So I'm just going to speed this up also. You can see, just fold your placket together, then run the stitch all the way to the underneath. Then you're going to do it at the side as well. You can see that. I'm just going to speed it, not to waste much of our time. Then at this edge, open it up, lock the inside, then we can stitch the head of the fabric itself, just a straight stitch, then simply lock it. So you can see that we have a lot of threading, a lot of thread showing on the fabric itself. That's a lot. So all you have to do is just to do the knitting. Take your time to cut out all the excess and take it to the ironing table. Give it a thorough ironing both from the back and from the front. Take your time, do not rush at this place. Make sure it is balanced. You can see that even without much ironing, this is the result in which you are looking for. Just give it a good ironing and get a better result. You can see what I have here. You can see that. You see how balanced that is looking. See what we are having here. See our neck area. See that? So I'm just going to go ahead and iron it, and this is going to be our final result. You see what we have here? This is as simple as it is supposed to be. You see that? Take your time, give it a good ironing. Make sure it is as smooth as possible. from the inside and also from the outside. So this is our final result. If you like the video, smash the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Just in case you want to watch more of my video, I have a couple of videos on the screen right now that you should go ahead and watch. I specifically choose that 2 videos for you guys, the one on the left or the one on the right. Go ahead and watch these 2 videos and I will see you in that video. Bless you.